Stacy and Mother Earth's Kitchen, and today we're going to be working with sauces. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this gluten-free, dairy-free Alfredo sauce with no cheese, and it actually tastes pretty good. But I'm also going to show you the homemade way to make the regular Alfredo sauce. That way you see how easy it is, and you can make it at home yourself. And you can mix it and match it a little bit so you're not using as much. This way it's a lot healthier for you, and you don't have all that processed junk that people are usually putting in their Alfredo sauces out there. So let's get into it. Alright, what you do is you put about a you match a tablespoon of olive oil to each tablespoon of flour. So I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I like to use onions in it, so I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of flour, because I'm only making a little bit because I'm going to grill my onions first. Okay? You don't have to put onions in it. I like onions, so I use onions. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a few onions, put that right on there, and I'm only going to cook that for a couple seconds. You know, put the onions right in there. And then after we cook the onions in the olive oil, we're going to add the tablespoon of flour, and it's going to turn into what's called a nice little roux. Okay? And we're going to mix that in. And let me get the coconut milk out so that you see what we're using here. Instead of milk, because typically what we're using is milk to put inside of this. We're not going to use milk. We're going to use coconut milk. And this is, actually it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. You don't want the onions to burn or whatever. I want them to get a little warm. I'm almost out of coconut milk here, so I'm going to go get another one. You can just check out the onions while I grab that. This here container costs about $3.99. You can get it for $3.99 on sale, or maybe $4.49 to $5. It's actually more expensive than milk, but it's better for you. This one here, it's like the same little brand, but it costs a little bit less. This one here, I think, costs $1.99 or something like that. Okay, so the onions are good. We're going to add that flour here. And you can see it's thickening up a little bit. Now, it'll be as thick as you want it to be, okay? This flour here is going to be the thickening agent that makes the sauce, okay? And add in our coconut milk. And you can see already it's starting to turn into a thicker sauce. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to switch out my Old Faithful there, and I'm going to use the wire whisk, just to get all the lumps and everything out. There we go. Oh, that looks beautiful. Now I'm going to add my pepper. Like I said, you use the ingredients that you like in your sauce. And salt. Good thing is you can use as much or as little sauce as you want. Salt, if you have issues, you can't use salt, don't use salt, you know. Use what you want. You also need a little bit of acidity in here, so we're going to use a little. I have a bunch of limes left over, so I'm using limes. You can use lemons. Apple cider vinegar is really good as an acid base. You need something to put acidity in it so that it tastes a little bit better. I learned this on Rachel Ray. You catch the seeds this way, running it through your hands. Okay? Yeah, there we go. Got our acid in there. Mix that up. You can see it's getting a little bit thick here. Okay? There we go. So, while we're letting that thicken up, put my wooden spoon back in there, and we're going to go make the regular Alfredo sauce. Alright, let's get right over here. Get right into it. And what we need is, typically what you're going to use is Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese. I don't have any mozzarella cheese, so I'm just going to show you, and we're going to pretend that we're using mozzarella cheese as well. You just, chop up your cheese a little bit, a little rough chop. You really don't have to chop it up. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier on my food processor. I don't want to break it, so I'm chopping these bad boys up. There we go. Chop it up, chop it up. And again, like I said, we're going to make believe, chicken, mommy, what? We're going to make believe we're using Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese, even though we're not. Okay, we just pop that in there. Put the top on. We've got that all grated up, and what we're going to do is we're going to use just a little bit of onions. Whenever you're food processing onions, you don't want to use too much because onions are really strong that way. So you don't want to use too much. Just put a little bit of onion. Here, this is processed garlic. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. But you want to use regular garlic. But for those of you, if you haven't gone grocery shopping, keep a little jar of garlic on hand so that you have garlic that you're going to use. We got our onions, garlic. I'm going to put some milk in there, whole milk. And we're going to put in my pepper. Mommy. Put a little bit of pepper. You put whatever kind of seasonings you want. I'm going to put a little bit of cilantro in there. You could use basil. We've got basil here. Whatever kind of seasonings you like. And we're just going to... And we've got Alfredo sauce, people. Just like that. Alright. Here we go. Typically, you would put this into the microwave to heat it up. But we're getting away from that nasty old microwave, aren't we? We're just going to pour that right in here. Warm it up. And we got two different Alfredo sauces. You can see this has gotten thick. You see this? This is my dairy-free, gluten-free sauce right here. That's all done. So we're just going to take that off, turn that off, and pour it right here into our little container. This is ready to go right on top of pasta or chicken, whatever you're trying to put it on. Here it is. This is my sauce. Okay? And then you heat this up, like I said, and this is ready to go. Ready to go. And that's it's as simple as that, people. It doesn't have to be complicated. Everything has become more complicated as you go along in this day and age, and they want you to believe that it's hard to do, but it really isn't. You know, look at here, it's heated up already, and we just made a regular Alfredo sauce in, what, 2-3 minutes? And you can add whatever you want to this. You can add broccoli to it, you know, have yourself a broccoli pasta dish, whatever the case you want. This here, it looks, like I said, as soon as this heats up, it's going to be thin and it's going to taste delicious. Like I said, you add yourself a little bit of salt. I got my pepper in there already. And you got a nice little pasta sauce. You know what I mean? So you sit here and let it get warm and whisk it up, and you take away all the lumps and bumps and bruises that's all up in there. And remember, typically you would add mozzarella cheese, like about as much as the block of cheese that I added. You would use about that much or more of mozzarella cheese. More mozzarella than Parmesan or whatever the case is. But anyway, here we go. We've got our sauce. Put it right on in here. There we go. And the regular one is clearly more white than this one, but hey, they're both delicious, you know. And like I said, if you want to start off slow, you don't want to just get straight with the gluten-free, dairy-free stuff. You know what? Make a little bit of the gluten-free, dairy-free, and add a little bit of this to it. They'll never know. Thanks for coming by my Mother's Earth Kitchen.